household work to give it actual economic value. Let's not forget this is an old debate in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. The international women's movement claim was that yes, women's household work needs to be recognized, it needs to be given an economic value, but not through the husband's wages, a small share of the husband's wages, but the state of that country should invest in that family, because let's not forget, women's labor actually contributes to the economy. It creates national income by child rearing, by supporting a man, by feeding a man. You're creating a worker for this economy. And that economy therefore owes something back to the woman. We need gainful employment to be provided to women. We need other opportunities to be provided. We need finance to come from the state. That's how you will actually get women outside their homes.
This opens another discussion actually, where maybe now it's time for the state to be a part of it, because it may just not be the husband that will be enough for these women to actually get their wages or the money that is being distributed to them. Well, do think about it while we slip into a break. When we come back, this is what we'll be talking about. So don't go too far, as we'll be back in just a moment. Gender discourse, and today we are asking if homemakers should be paid salaries. Well, Bhupin, now Maya made a very important point that maybe it is the responsibility of the state, because we very easily, just start aping the West in whatever that they do. But over there, if this research was done, so which is clear that the state is also being a part of it, and they are also kind of giving some kind of allowances to women. Now in India, maybe the governments, this is what they're trying to do, that okay, just pass the buck on to the husband and let him pay the salary to the wife. And as a result, we know what's going to happen. So how are you going to respond to this?
See, it's a very interesting phenomena that at times we discuss global warming issues in a AC room, AC seminar room. So it's something like that. The ground reality is very different. There are times when economically backward class family households, you must have definitely heard stories from your grandparents or old women in your family that during the time of need, Dadima had some extra money and we didn't know, and that money really we needed, and it helped. So the whole notion of categorizing women as empowering her as an issue against the men, I'm sorry to say, I'm absolutely not called for that. I don't accept that. In our Indian scenario, the position of women, like she mentioned about the West, our position was much better. They had to strive for voting rights also, but for us it came naturally. It was there. So like you said, aping the West. No, we need not ape the West, but we need to kind of secure that position, that strong position, identity of women in our family. And by doing this, I think there is going to be some kind of, the balance, the hierarchical balance which is there, it will be disturbed. But having said that, I feel that everything is not just GDP or economic contribution. There has to be some kind, like what she said, the very important thing is that women has, I would take this as a tool to keep women away from the scenario of working workforce. You just want her to stay home, get the salary, and just be a homemaker. 100 rupees a day or 150 rupees a day, a labor. There should be policies for those women for extra for their health. They need to have iron. They need iron. That is very important. So
those are issues
their
that
health issues, their insurance. There should be a policy for there should be an insurance policy for a housewife. Why does the government not think on that?
I think this is something that Jagannath should be able to tell us. That if something like this was made mandatory, I think it would be ideal.
Absolutely, I think insurance as a concept is very underpenetrated. Not just the question of lower income groups, even the higher income groups, they somehow feel it as a burden. Nobody somehow takes it very seriously. They say that why to pay for something which gets after my death? So who cares? So technically that's the biggest problem to convince many people for insurance. Anyway, that's on the lighter side. One, I think in this whole whole discussion, I think what will happen in case of working women, and how will that income changes, or whether will that kind of families will be an exception, and in some cases maybe if husband is not working for whatever reason, maybe his job lost or something like that, what will be the scenario? And then are we trying to say that, let's say if a brother is taking care of the entire family of the sisters and all that. So
Yeah,
then every relation
exactly.
will come into a question of this a monetary question. I think there should be a clear-cut definition of a household income of not crossing, let's say, 10,000 rupees or 20,000 rupees, and there should be sharing. At that level, it's perfectly fine. But taking it to the entire community, then probably we are trying to collapse the very foundation on which the Indian marriage is built up.
I have also an issue with the fact that you mentioned that because if there is divorce, I mean, are we expecting that there should be more divorce in our social system?
Correct.
I mean, that whole idea is.
Anuradha, I want your comments on what Maya said and what two of my panelists have said.
No, my point is that if you're saying the rule, we have India, we have a society where everybody is not working, understandable. There is rural people also. There are people who are earning 1,000 rupees or but still, even if that husband is giving that 200 rupees to the wife, and at the end of beating his wife,
That's right.
is that her self-esteem is fine? You are just paying off and shrugging off your responsibilities. I don't think so. I think basically what needs to be taught is the education. You need to educate the girl child. The ladies should be able to earn. They should be on their feet. They should be able to look after. In fact, what is the harm if the wife pays the husband, from my point of view? What if the wife is working? What do you expect? The wife is going to pay the husband? No, that is, you are not expecting that. Though
Hire a maid. Are you not already paying her for services like cooking, for services like rearing your child, for washing, cleaning? You are. So these services actually have an economic value. Let's stop denying the fact that they don't. Let's at least take that step. When we take that step, then we realize we come to the next point, which is like, if we're supposed to remunerate women and give them a value back, let that unpaid work be recognized as something.
This discussion is getting heated, so let me just go in for a break. But when we come back, we'll take it on from here. So don't go anywhere, as we are going to be back in just very quickly. Welcome back. You're watching Gender Discourse, and today we are asking if homemakers should be paid salaries.
This is in an Indian scenario. He talks about an equal opportunity for the women as well as the man. And for us, we are seeing it in only terms of husband and wife. You know, a family comprises of wife, then maybe the mother-in-law is also there who's taking care of the child when the wife is also working. So,
Right.
I mean, you know, it's a very complex issue to interfere. Just on the basis of certain surveys by selective NGOs or some selective foreign-backed attitude, vision NGOs, or these attitudes which are trying to change our social system, you know, I don't think we should work on that. But definitely, the Honorable Minister has made a very valid point that her work should be recognized. We should have health insurance policies for housewives. We should have better security. I mean, it's just 2-3 days back, in front of a 4-year-old child, a mother is shot in the broad daylight. So, I mean, how is it going to, because see, the social prosperity of a woman is often tailored by the cultural norms that we have. And these cultural norms are, it's very, you know, patriarchal. So, we need to change that attitude. But how far this is going to be implemented and across various social sections, socio-economic section, how is it going to help these women? Because even when we talk about the labor class, there is this lady, I mean, it's a very normal sight. If you're going on the road, you see there is this mother, her child is there in the jhula over there, and she's doing work on the road. The man is also working on the road. So how is that salary thing going to help this family, which is just trying to, you know, make 3-course meal their reality? So we need to work on better health facilities for women and a serious implementation just by making it
Mandatory for a man to
for
pay.
the husband just to pay the wife. I think, and anticipating divorce and breaking family, we need to look
It's a
at
very
in a very
superficial way of
yes,
probably looking at
we need to
things.
look at this way also, that see, it's going to disturb our social system, our social reality that has been. What are the wrongs of a society that women are not given equal opportunity? I think the state should give her that chance. A housewife should be given some insurance, should be given some kind
allowance,
of
something,
pension,
correct.
like we have pensions for widow. For that matter, if you see the widows, if you see their plight, they are thrown away. They are just sent to ashrams.
Absolutely.
So
Well, let me
this
get
has to look
yeah.
upon, be
Let
looked
me get
upon.
your view here that in
Or if both are working, what kind of system is worked. I think any regulation should lead us forward, not backward. Or let's say it should not be a implementation just for the hell of it. In the sense, just for the sake of a rule, it should not be a rule. I think if that can be achieved in the process, if both of them will become peace of mind, both of them will have more energy to take the family forward. I think what's wrong in that? But the question is that it should be fixed only at the entry. Otherwise, I think we are asking for too much of it.
Yes, Anuradha, what's your
Insurance
point
is a
on
good
this? Because-
policy. Insurance idea is good. Insurance idea is good, and I feel that it should be more gender neutral laws. Like it should not be. It's
just not just for the
it should be
women.
neutral. It should be neutral. It's not. You cannot differentiate. Had it been something else, you couldn't differentiate. You can differentiate in terms of company. You have an hierarchy. But here, I don't think so. That there is this thing. I think in the terminology of law, we are trying to do something which I think we are harming more than doing something and coming out with success.
And also, in case if it is a law and it is to be implemented, but what if a man actually doesn't really give anything to his wife? Is there going to be any monitoring authority that's actually going to see whether she's
and
being
even
paid
if
or
he's
not?
giving 5,000 rupees and he says, okay, I've done it, I've given
Yeah.
it. Is that the end of the responsibility?
Correct.
Is that the end of the responsibility? It's not like that. Na? Paying up and finishing off. You pay the maid and you say, okay, it's done. Yeah, kaam kar do.
Generally, wife generally don't go and file a case against husband for it. right?
Exactly,
So
that's
I mean
what I'm
that's the
saying.
last thing that wanted in this whole thing.
Yeah.
That wife going and file a case against husband that my husband didn't pay me. I mean,
How many
he's,
wives will
he's
actually
claiming
do
that
that?
he did,
Yes.
and she's claiming he didn't. So
Yes.
how will you prove? I mean, so
That's right. So Maya, what's your point of view here? Because it seems that this is it's just a mess up till as of now.
Of course, I also agree that implementation of this particular form of the legislation will be a huge task.
Correct.
You need a gigantic machinery to be able to regulate it. Let's for example just consider the ordinary labor market. In a place like Gurgaon, where there are like 8 lakh workers, who work, you have 2 DLCs, 2 Deputy Labour Commissioners, who are there to look into issues of dispute and workers' other concerns. They are understaffed. They're not able to manage, and of course people feel shortchanged. Workers feel shortchanged at the end of the day. Now imagine in a much larger magnitude, we're going to be regulating domestic labor market. What is going to be, are we going to be happy with 2 deputy, domestic labor, regulators? It's not going to work.
No, because he's giving another
And then
250.
another point
that
that
thought.
yes,
And more of this lack of this social security schemes that, as we seen in foreign countries where there is a minimum guarantee for minimum guarantee kind of money. I think that is where I think where the Maya is coming from is that the state should support,
Contribute.
considering the current situation of the country and where they are unable to move even the very valid projects in infrastructure.
Exactly.
I really
They
doubt
will
whether
move on to this
Indian
project.
government balance sheet has that kind of accommodation to really accommodate that. Ideally that should be, but whether that is possible or not, that's a major question. Are we making it again a big deficit issue, or maybe again only for elections? Because these are some of these measures which will get them lots of votes. Make no mistake about it, lots of votes. But implementation is so difficult. They will win, and for 5 years they'll enjoy the fruits of the administration.
Another point that the Honorable Minister has made is that this income is not going to be taxable. Now, I really don't understand what that means,
further
because the
adds to
husband,
the
when he's
irony.
earning that money, he's already paying a tax on that. So what is this big deal about?
Why she said that is because in the Income Tax Act, they say that any income which is rated as salary or in the form of salary will be taxable. Because tomorrow a income
But
tax
then who
officer.
is going to decide, and how will it be that she's being paid a salary?
Yeah, if that is the name, if that is the word they use in the so-called regulation, in the rule, if it gets passed, I think a income tax officer will have a right to go and demand. That's why she's trying to take care of it. And moreover, it will be like double taxation. It's like same money, when it is coming to the family, you're taxed once. Again, when it is moved to the wife, again you are taxed. And the same money is being taxed twice. That is not the logic. And moreover, on top
so
of
the government is going to earn more.
Yeah, so I think that's not the purpose. Again, that's where, for example, if a husband is earning, let's say 1 crore rupee per month, kind of, let's say we are talking about a billionaire, then let's say if he's paying 10 lakh rupees to the wife, then you will get into tax.
Yes.
Otherwise, for a 5,000 rupee and 500 rupee equation will not get into tax, because even for taxation, the wife's salary, the sum total of the money should be 1 lakh rupees, 1,80,000, the recent one. So that very few families will be really reaching, that 10% share will be reaching into 1,80,000 for the wife. That situation will not arise in the practical any which way.
Right. So Anuradha, what do you really make of this? I mean, we are having this discussion, but tomorrow nothing may actually go on paper and nothing may actually work. So
I think at the end of it, the family tradition or the family values is basically dying down the institution of family. I personally feel, this is my personal opinion, that basically if you're trying to target, and wherever money is going to get in